Welcome back to another video, guys. It has been a while, but I have been busy working away on some things and some stuff and omniscient and whatnot. Anyway, so I thought I would bring to you a recent challenge that I took as part of a podcast stream that we did. That's I'll pop the link to the full video down below. This will just be an edited version of it. But this is a 13-second look around somebody's front room, and is arguably a very real-world example of how Sherlock would use, or rather might use, deduction nowadays. See what you think. So that brings us on to, as a chain of reasoning, this is the video that I was sent. We can confirm or deny one way or the other, but I thought now that we've spent however many years that we've been doing this, and you know, we've spoken a lot about the process, and we've spoken a lot about how to break these kinds of things down, that it would be interesting for whoever's here, and you as well, that knowing we have permission from whoever this is to do this, we can kind of get into some of the thinking behind how we would break down this observational route, right? But I also just want to qualify something that I want to explore live in front of everyone, because this seems to be a go-to. Well, you just do a Google image search and whatnot. When the first person that said this, not only did it piss me off because of their lack of knowledge on how to do this actual thing, but it pissed me off because there was something else that I had to learn how to do. I didn't know what a reverse Google image search was. So when you get sent this type of shit, you can't always be guaranteed of a perfect picture of a framed kind of, you know, one of these. So we'll pause it here, and I'll take a screenshot. I learned how to do this reverse Google image search thing just for these types of things. So we'll do it live. We'll do it right now. And whatever pops up, pops up. That's the wrong screen. There it is. So I want this.
If I pop up, that'll be awkward.
Google Images. There it is. Google Images.
Your face is now in. Oh my god.
So, oh no, hang on. It might just have taken that. I mean, lower it to face.
Why the baby with the bandana?
No, I think it seems to think that Google thinks that this thing here is a hat.
There's a bandana.
Yeah, a bandana of something. Let's be fair. You and I as human beings can see that's her hair.
Let's do a crystal clear photo.
Exactly. Then do 25 nearly years of work, and then come back to me. We'll have a conversation. Hey, hang on. Put me dummy back in. I'm all right. I'll put me dummy back in. Anyway, here we go. So this is the 13 seconds. I don't know if I left it on slow motion. Let me have a look. Yeah, I have. Hang on. There we go. Here we go. So, just for you. Are you ready? Set phases to observe. That's all you get it.
Yeah.
That's all you get it. No, I'm kidding. Right? So I actually went into my notes app and made notes like a particular dork.
That's good.
Thank you. Okay. So here was my thoughts from the video, and the kind of impromptu out of the blue asking to send it on, whatever, this type of thing would indicate that they too at the time were either talking about me, the podcast, the lessons, doing this way of inferring information, deducing Sherlock, whatever, some kind of content adjacent discussion was happening at this time. So interactions around them, it comes with curiosity and or experience in that area. So this would likely put her in the realm of experience, lessons, college degree, whatever it is, with the psychologies, forensics, or the sciences in some form that way around. I mean, I think it's forensics, looking at the tattoo on her chest, which I believe to be an anatomically correct heart. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. But it would also mean that there is a likely element that if it's not any of those kind of things, but then it would come from podcasts, a fascination with true crime, that type of thing. Could be all of those. Yeah. Could be one of those. Could be none of those. We're using inductive reasoning at this stage, and so we look at the kind of the personality connected elements to those things. So we would need to look across all of those elements to see where the corollaries are between them all, right? To see where the corollaries are between them all, to suggest more likely personality traits as a result, right? To get their vibe, pun intended, for the people that know precisely what I'm talking about. This is my polar method at work. So that would lead to a healthy dose of skepticism, and the personality-related effects to that would be a healthy dose. Got that backwards. Healthy dose. Strike that. Reverse it. A healthy dose of sarcasm. Right. I know, because I am a big skeptic, and I am very bloody sarcastic as well in that way. So that's a borrowed-on concept. I would also say that with all of those, the corollaries are also intelligence. There would need to be the requirement for some kind of cognizant capabilities and the capability to have a critical thinking degree to enough to assume right from wrong based on not assume is the wrong word, to deduce right from wrong based on a finite degree of data, right? She possesses the know-how to be able to do this. The very antithesis of somebody that watches Love Island. I would also say non-religious, but likely, I'm going to use the word but explain it afterwards, spiritual, right? Now, I don't mean spiritual as in pray to the deity in the sky, or you know, I'm going to go out and, I don't know, I'm trying to think of
this video
some kind of pagan ritual. Yeah. There's no sacrificing of goats here, is what I mean.
There's one blade on the floor.
Spiritual in the appreciation of cultural differences. Spiritual in the appreciation of nature, of the you know, a mountainous structure or a beautiful forest, something along those lines. And in terms of looking at, let's see if we can bring it back up this way around. In terms of looking at the books, where are we? Let me see if I can get a non-blurry bit. No, I can't. I'm not prepared to wait. So there it is. I put the books, and the pops would indicate somebody who is not necessarily a, you know, in the same way that I'm a Sherlock fan, not necessarily a horror fan, but has an appreciation for these types of things, whether it be horror art, horror movies, and this type of thing, mostly because this guy down here, you can see my cursor on the screen, this guy down here looked like a masked Jason Voorhees figure. But it could just as easily be one or two characters from the animes that Gabe has shown me over. So I'm not like I would bet a toe on that kind of relevance. And just also as well, this up here looks like an early iteration of a PlayStation controller. So I would put there in terms of a classic appreciation for gaming and /or I put the artwork. Right, I put the artwork in there because there is a retro kind of connection, appreciation towards the way that these types of elements have changed over the years. So we put all this together. Hobbies would include something creative. Creative is a general statement, right? It's a general statement. And if we look at the number of tattoos, of which, you know, there's one on the arm there. See if I can see why I think that it's an anatomically correct heart. You see it's
now that if you say it and you know it, then you can kind of see that.
I mean, that's why I thought forensics more so than anything. But it could just as easily be an appreciation for art, and we know that now. That's why I put this down here. So we know that now that art is a factor based on the username, right? So just for completeness, I also put that this could just as easily be music or writing in that way, because the guitar's there as well. Though the placement of the pops suggested more of a fascination with art to me, because though there are some up here, I mean, this figure appears to be not a pop, but it appears to be some kind of figure in a box as well, and there's pops down here and down here as well. That struck me as either one of three things. Either that's just the shelving unit filling out with pops as she's bought them over the years, or that's standing back to appreciate the visuals of where pops should go. Like, this one looks right here, step back, have a look, no, change this one round, and this type of thing. Or it is that kind of anally retentive, a place for everything and everything in its place. Based on what we've previously induced using this method, I would say that art is more likely, but it could just as easily be those other two as well. We know now, based on a username, that is a by the by. So we connect these elements in terms of a livelihood and the way that lives are led based on what we know. I mean, the video's been enough now. She doesn't need to endure that. Well, I say that. She might not care. I would. If I was just stood up there frozen in a position, I would care. So I'm moving her off the screen, rightly or wrongly. So
soloed it. Carbonite frozen. It's all right. She'll be released in Return of the Jedi.
I put social, confident, enjoys nights out drinking with friends. And I put friends. Usually the classic cold reading line is, you know a lot of people, but you have a small group of 2 or 3 that you would consider your close personal friend. Yeah. Looking at her thumbs and her fingers. If she's quit by then, happy days. But there are signs of her being a smoker or a vapor. One of the two. One of the two that way around. Now, I would need to ask her the question in order to understand the way these deductions would go after the fact, so I'll just kind of explain the full route. If we were looking to understand what she did for a living, I would, if it was a direct question, I would ask things like, do you enjoy what you do for a living? Right? Of which that's kind of it's a yes or no, right? So if she said yes, she did enjoy what she did for a living, what she does for a living, then she would say that the roles would have to address the creative, social need, either as a singular element or both. If she said no, then it would have to deny those needs. So it would be something then in an office, or some kind of cubicle, a kind of stereotypical job in that way. If, as I think is more likely based on Miss Riffraff's comments about being smashed when she was taking the video. My notes say here, if she's a work hard, play hard person, then nursing or something related to that would be likely in that way. And I put her, Jim's had a go at her age as well. I also put 30. I just put 30. I didn't put an age range, but I put a question mark by it because I wasn't sure. So I put 30. Yeah. Now, based on the living room and the things that you noticed as well in terms of the amount of people in the house, the kind of, I hate to use the term because it's a buzzword and I don't like it, but I'm using it here because everyone knows it. The body language in that way, that type of comfort, that type of confidence, in terms of her relationship status, I thought one of two things. It's either, at this moment, she's single, or she's in a long-term relationship. And listen to the way I said long term. I don't mean like 1 or 2 years. I mean long term.
Yeah.
Right? That's either one of two there. And now I also thought based on her and where is it? This? Oh, you can't see. I took the video off the screen. Shit. Hang on. There it is. So I thought, where's my cursor? Can you get there? It is. So I thought based on this that she is not only gay but proud. There's something that she yells or is capable of yelling from the rooftops, kind of thing. It's not a hidden part of her life. She is. I don't know what the right term is, but I would say you are proud, right? That kind of thing. I don't know what the proper term is anymore. I lose track of the shit when people change it all the time. I would say she's also been to at least 1 or 2 Comic Cons in her life. In terms of a fitness health regime, it won't come from anything fastidious in the same way like, fastidious, I mean, I've got a 5-day week where I'm split over pull and push days and doing legs and this. And none of that. Though I would say that she does take care of herself. It would likely come more in terms of eating averagely okay, not with any great verve or vigor, but with being active in that way. Some of the likely active exploits in this area are things like hiking, walking, being outside. It's traditionally seen as a solitary endeavor, but if she is in a long-term relationship, then this is something that she would likely do with her. But in terms of the photo arrangement as well, those types of frames You really only see them with anyone that has a strong connection towards family, or a group of people. And my TV's about to die. We've been talking for too long. Or a group of people that she deems to be family. So either the close group of friends, this type of thing. It might be that she has a small number of family and a small number of friends, and these are all together in the photos. But that's the way those types of photo frames are normally prominently displayed, these types of things. So if it is the hiking features, then she will go out on hikes, on walks with one or two these types of people. Which would also mean, statistically speaking, that if she is gay, that there is someone in her family friendship group as well that also has kids. We would need to be right about the 30 remark, but that's just an adjacent deduction. Doesn't mean that the kids come with them. If they do, great. I'm not saying that, but that's just playing the kind of age group inferences there, one way or the other. Typically speaking, though, if we deduce all of this to be true, and that's a pretty big if, right? if we deduce all of this to be true, typically those people make good cooks. They make good cooks.
Oh, okay.
I got that from the pen on the table. It would be likely right-handed. Now, I'm going to bring it back up as well, because I couldn't decide this when I looked at it before, and this was the 2 times.
Has there been anything in the comments from them?
Let's have a look. Rose, Miss Riffraff's asking to weigh in. I'm not done. I still have some more thoughts.
Okay, right, yeah.
I thought that was a bass, not just a standard acoustic guitar.
I can't.
It seems to be that there's one peg here, one peg here, one peg here, and one peg here. Seems to be the 4 pegs. And so when you go to acoustic guitars, that's typically like, statistics in terms of people that play guitar. They usually start with electric and then move to exploring different sounds with acoustics and 6 strings, 7 strings, bass, all this type of thing. And that's just playing the odds in terms of the way people utilize those things. So if it is that's her guitar, then guitars in general have been in her life for a while. It's not a recent add-on, unless Miss Riffraff, when she sent this, she was smashed years ago, and it was kind of recent at the time. Looking at the carpet,
be careful.
Yeah, looking at the carpet, I'd say it's hoovered. So likely there's no pets in the house, but I've put down on here 60% certainty on that, so I'm not really sure. And in terms of the banner that kind of looked like a circular thing, like a big sun that was coming out, it looked like one of the Tool album covers. Whether it is or not, I don't know. But it looked like one of the Tool album covers. But it could just as easily be that she is a frequent shopper of thrift hippie shops.
Yeah.
These types of things. When you look at the pin board at the door, there is what appears to be an EMP clothing brand that's on there as well. And because the pin board's by the door, we can infer that she leads a fairly busy life, which would back up in terms of nursing this type of thing, 13-hour shifts that they have to do.
Would it be wrong to say that you could infer it was a rented space rather than owned?
No, you can
she seems quite passionate about art and obviously making it look like quite decorative inside, but the walls don't seem to be painted, I would say, her style. But there is a lot of things thrown up on the wall, and usually that means that you can't paint the walls in a rented place.
I also got, with the pin board being by the door, there is an option for that to be in connection towards organizational issues. So maybe ADHD's on the table.
Okay. Yeah.
ADHD on the table, and that's it. That's what we got. Boom, she's here. Where we go, way in love.
Here we go. It's like a lottery balls.
Yeah. I'm saving my input marking for the end, don't you worry. Okay, there we go. Massive Tool fan. You are correct. It's an Alex Gray tapestry, the artist for Tool.
Ah, nice.
Nailed it.
Boom.
All right, let's be honest. As the streamers in this scenario, we don't really know what to do now. I didn't know she was gonna be here. Might as well. You're a twat. Okay, here we go. So she says, I can send you a message with a more in-depth conclusion, as most of it was spot on. Sweet. So what we'll do, we'll take this. I'll pop this last comment on there. Rogart94 Zig. I mean, it would be nice to, if your real name is Zig, Nice to meet you, Zig. I still don't think it's Zig, but it would be nice to learn your name, so I don't have to call you by your username. But we'll save the full breakdown for the next episode. I'll put this comment on. I'll put this comment on for now. I can confirm I was single at the time, and I had just started talking to my current partner. I was working at an office job at the time, but now work as a carer and a freelance digital artist. Boom! I'll take that. But the next comment's going to be, yeah, that's the things that you got wrong. Everything else you failed. Oh, here we go. Hang on. I can also confirm that was a rented maisonette, which was partially furnished, but I move around a lot. And yes, I am very out and proud. So we're gonna love you and leave you. Thanks to Rogart94. That was fun, to be fair. Hang on, she's put some more in. I'm gonna have to pop it in. Shit.
Don't end it.
And also, I did diploma in forensic psychology and a degree in behavioral psychology. Amazing. And there it is. I don't think we did too bad. So, well, I'll pop the screenshots of the messages on screen at the minute. But let us deal with the feedback direct from the individual themselves. Suffice it to say, I'm not going to give you their real name because they didn't want it broadcast. So Zig is not their real name. So most of the things were absolutely spot on. I am an artist and musician, mainly guitar and bass. I moved a lot at the time and ended up in that partly furnished maisonette. The furniture is not stuff I would have picked out, but as you could see, I added my own style to it. I would describe myself as alternative and, yes, extremely sarcastic and skeptical at times. My partner can confirm I am a good cook. I was particularly proud of that one. And at the time, I was single, as I've already clarified, but I was starting to talk to my now girlfriend. My friendship group is small, maybe 2 to 3 close friends, but very little family. The pictures in the frame consist of my nan, who raised me and passed away a few years ago. I'm also an avid collector and proud nerdy lesbian. Definitely into horror, but also fantasy and Marvel or DC. As Marvel and or DC, I confirm that the name Siggy or Ziggy is a nickname. My real name is, and the nickname has 2 origins: the original and the assumed. The original is that my dad's side of the family are Norwegian. Norwegian gives us Siggy, but she also has heterochromia, which didn't pop up on the video. That would have been a bigger clue because I was thinking Ziggy Stardust as part of the stream anyway, but that would have helped. I couldn't see that. My partner also found it hilarious when you mentioned that I might be slightly anally retentive. You are correct. I'm half artsy. This looks good here, and half everything in its right place, so we got that. I tend to walk a lot and keep to myself mainly out of choice. I'm 29, so 30 is pretty close, and I've been described as being classy, but believe it or not, the dress was a red herring. I don't tend to wear dresses, I just fancied throwing a curveball. Thanks so much for the analysis. That was a lot of fun and very spot on. Even predicted a few things that are now accurate, such as the care work or something creative job-wise, which unfortunately wasn't the case at the time. Very fun and nerve-wracking and all that. I then mentioned after the fact, I wish I'd mentioned the dress as I was talking to my wife about the potential discomfort that she was showing in the video, but I just chalked that up to possibly being drunk or just feeling awkward on camera. So I kind of wish I'd pursued that a little bit more. I then spoke. I'm not going to go too much into the private conversation. Where are we? But then I also mentioned as well that she has a lot of tattoos, and that she was raised by a nan. That likely one of the tattoos was for her nan, and of which she said, "That's amazing. Yes, the heart tattoo has the times of death coming off it, like you would see on an anatomical diagram for my nan and granddad." So thank you to Zig for letting us have a little peek into your lives. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll see you very soon for another video and a podcast. Make sure you follow along here and over on the podcast channel as well to stay in touch. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.